this, granted, not new document, but it gets more attention when Elon Musk retweets it for the world to see, namely Disney's inclusion standards. Now, Andrew, I know that you spoke about that earlier. Can you talk us a little bit through that, where basically you have Disney putting in writing that we want to put a cap on how many people of the white persuasion can be at different levels of production stuff.
Now this is my argument here, and this is obviously me making a persuasive argument. This is something that Disney would object to, of course, right? But when you look at this document, and actually I have the document, let me pull it up real quick so you guys can see it. But this document actually sets quotas. This was one that Elon Musk tweeted out and said he got this from an internal source. So of course, this hasn't been validated in a court of law. So this could be complete malarkey, but I'm going to treat this for the moment as if this is completely legitimate. And frankly, based on Disney's history, I have no reason to feel like this is not fully legitimate. This sounds just about right.
It's also on the ABC website. I found it. I downloaded it.
So it seems like this is verifiable. It seems like this is
verifiable.
That sticks. I shared it. So if anybody who's backstage wants to let me share that real quick. But you can see that it's got actual quotas. This is something that, to me, as my good friend Robert Barnes says, always in cash, never in writing. When you put down that you are setting quotas here, right? And these are their standards, right? So a standard of 50% of characters coming from underrepresented groups, 50% of actors coming from underrepresented groups. Making sure your casting director is from an underrepresented group or has not previously worked on a GGE show. Making sure 50% of episodic directors, 50% of producers. Mind you, you guys just covered the statistics about white folks. Obviously, this would not be equal to the percentages in the American public at large.
And to add to that, sorry, Andrew, but this is why we get people with no merit in these positions.
Correct, because they have to fill these positions. And also, when you look at some of them, at least, right? I mean, there may just be a dearth of folks that meet that criteria. And now you've got to take folks that otherwise would not be qualified and slot them into those positions. And also, frankly, you're trying to push it when you don't need to. And pay attention to this right here. A5, right? And maybe this is something you guys can really get into. An A4 and A5. Series premise: meaningful integration of underrepresented groups into overall themes and narratives. Episodic storytelling: ongoing and meaningful integration of underrepresented groups into episodic themes and narratives. So when you are requiring that the theme matches an underrepresented group or aligns with an underrepresented group, I mean, to me, that's pretty much mandating, unless I'm reading this differently than somebody else, that's pretty much mandating that you have a plot line that includes some form of DEI or whatever else, right? Some sort of equity and inclusion. I mean, that's the standard here. Now, that's less legal, right? This is more vague, right? This is just me musing on that. The part that's really problematic is when you set quotas. And these quotas, when you see 50%, when you see these numbers here, 50%, 50%, all that stuff harkens to a case we just had at the Supreme Court level, which dealt with college admissions. This was the famous case against Harvard. With students who sued who were Asian American, and they were discriminated against because, well, they're Asian, and Harvard lost that because Harvard set a race quota, and they said straight up that's not okay. Now that has not been extended. To be very clear, this has not been extended to the commercial context at large. However, it would be a ripe case. That's all I'll say. Right? It has not been extended, but it would be a very interesting role here if people were to come out and say, I was a victim of this policy, right? I was somebody who was not hired or not promoted or not bumped because of this policy. And this is separate and away from the Gina Carano stuff. This is separate from that. I think this would be a very good test bed. And if Elon is able to find folks and actually finance their lawsuits, I think this could be a very interesting case in the commercial context.
Well, part of the problem too is that Hollywood defines diversity much more narrowly
Mm-hmm.
than people assume. First of all, they don't include ethnicity. Like, why couldn't an Icelandic individual be a minority? In fact,
we don't need Andres in there. They're radicals. You know?
I know, but my point is that they've narrowly defined it based on the power structures that are in Hollywood. So there's one major group that is considered part of the diverse lottery, the DEI lottery, as I call it. And then there's an up and comer, and that's pretty much it. There's really no one else allowed to have fun. Certainly not Asians. It's just bullshit. That's part of the problem, is that they aren't including South Sudanese. They're not including like any number of diverse people in this mix. It's nonsense.
Here's what they say, and this is, I think, I was saying this on my stream. I think that Disney's lawyers were like either they were so scared they were all Billy the Betas, as I call them, or they managed to get this one little foot.
The context. Oh,
did we lose him?
Andrew, are you muted? Or did we lose you? Oh, he's gone. Where'd he go?
Well, who knows?
I should not have been. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what's going on there. They're trying to
hear my stop crying.
Wait, reshare it.
Trying to stop me. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you go. Try it again.
Okay.
Please call me again.
And your audio's out again, Andrew.
Something's fishy.
Wait, is he gone? Hold on, let's try to do this again.
Aliens.
Andrew, say something.
Aliens?
No, he's there.
Yeah.
His mic isn't moving. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Brown Hawk 1 to Asian White Eagle. Copy. Are you there, Asian White Eagle? No. Wait. Brown Hawk 1 to White Asian Albatross. Are you there, White Asian Albatross?
It doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't.
Well, let's do some super chats in the meantime while we wait for Asian White Eagle to return.
Got me, boys. I'm sorry.
Oh, here he's back.
Got me. No. Anyways, look. Sorry. I'll just explain it. We don't need any to show it. But that little bullet point they put at the bottom said, "Well, anybody involved in hiring can't ask about actual or perceived race, nationality, gender, sexual orientation, all that list of things that are protected, right? But that doesn't cover the scope of it. You cannot prefer one person for promotion, for hiring, for training. You can't have any of that is divided up by gender, sex, any of those criteria. Right. And you certainly can't set a quota saying, okay, well, we're going to promote these amount of people, or we're going to raise these people up. We're going to give these opportunities to one side. I mean, that's going to be something that's going to flag in any state, not just in California, but I mean, certainly that will be an issue under California law.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There, you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe, and join us.